Welcome to another episode of Selling Life and Annuities. I'm Randy Pierson, Executive Vice President of Sales and Distribution at Hague Rd Marketing. And with me today, I've got Paul Bechtold, who's the manager of our debt elimination programs and infinite banking concepts in general. And today we're going to talk about just that, IBC, infinite banking, and the concept. If you've never heard about it, you need to watch this video because it's a concept that can change your practice, all for the better, by the way. So Paul, let's dig right in. Infinite banking, IBC, talk to the agents a little bit, give them a broad, brief synopsis of what that entails in the life insurance selling space.
So infinite banking as a concept has been around about 50 years. Actually, the actual concept itself was employed over 150 years ago by people like the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. And the premise of it is that we can leverage a properly designed, highly cash value, whole life insurance contract to build wealth while we have access to use the money for other things, okay? So the reason it's called infinite banking is once that money goes in the policy, it never leaves. It never leaves the cash account even when we borrow the money because it's still in there growing and earning interest and getting paid dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. It's working for you in multiple ways, right? I mean, the dollar that's in your pocket isn't working for you in multiple ways. But once you put in a life insurance contract, you multiply the leverage you can gain from that dollar. So the really cool thing about this concept, especially as it relates to Gordon marketing agents who work and sell through us, is that we've got some great new relationships that can help advisors leverage this space, right? And Paul, what might some of those carriers be?
Well, actually, Randy, I was so pleased this year because, we did bring on a couple new relationships, a couple of carriers that came into the brokerage space that agents didn't have as much access to before. You had more of a captive agent and all that. And the first thing an agent needs to understand is in this IBC space, not all whole life insurance policies are created equal, right?
True that.
Some of your old blue chip companies are not really used and structured for this kind of purpose, right? Mm-hmm. One to name, one of our new relationships is Mass Mutual, right? And fantastic carriers. I learned a lot from our new Mass Mutual rep this year. And we're able to place a very large estate planning case with Mass Mutual mm-hmm. this year that we would have never been able to get before without them. Yeah. But the other carrier that came into the forefront that we really are building a relationship with, and I encourage you agents to reach out to me directly to learn more, is One America. Yeah. Right here in downtown Indy, 140-year history, one of the top IBC type of policies out there, highly cash value, has all the characteristics and applications that we want out of a carrier for the purpose of infinite banking.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one of the things, being a sort of a bit of an old timer in the life insurance sales arena, I was brought up in the whole life space. But one of the main features in a quality whole life product that makes it flexible and very what I would call consumer friendly is what feature, Paul?
Well, old whole life policies to be a little stodgy and stiff, right? You put a premium in and there wasn't a lot of flexibility to them. But now the flexible paid up additions rider,
absolutely,
and even the term rider that we can add to these policies make them much, much more flexible and make them really mirror and mimic an increasing death benefit IUL.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for was the PUA, that paid up additions rider. I remember when I first came into the business, we had paid up additions riders, of course, but they were fairly vanilla and fairly tightly constrained and didn't provide nearly the flexibility and what I would once again call consumer friendliness that's available to agents to help their clients in their planning today. And then also you mentioned the term riders, which is another enhancement that's really come to the fore here of late.
Yes.
Right?
So one of the things I'd like to add, Randy, is, along with these great new carrier relations, as well as the year-over-year success of our debt elimination platforms, is the fact that I've really seen a real turn this year in the popularity of the infinite banking concept with the newer generations, the younger generations coming along. They're kind of learning what I like to say, that money always goes where it's treated best, right? And right now, people are learning that that's one of the best places that they can put their money and that they can leverage it, and that they can quit paying interest to others like banks and lending institutions, or quit making some of the mistakes that maybe they saw their parents or some of their peers make, and they can get that money working for them instead of working for others.
Yeah, so we've kind of, given a 30,000 foot overview or a little taste about IBC to the agent viewers of this video. If an agent wanted to learn more about IBC and become much more familiar with the concept and how they can help their clients with it, how might you suggest they gain that knowledge?
Well, Randy, we've developed a plethora of marketing material, educational videos, PowerPoints, and stuff like that. They could call me directly at 317-626-3054, or they can email me at paul@gordmarketing.com and just reach out and say, hey, listen, I want to learn more about the debt elimination space, the infinite banking space, something along those lines. And I'd be glad to give you a call, maybe email you over some introductory material to help you get started. But the thing I like about it, Randy, the most is most everybody has debt and everybody wants to get rid of it, right? Mm-hmm. It's an endless market you can tap into. You can help everybody. You can never put anybody in a worse position by implementing this strategy.
And so true. But let's talk about the other side of the spectrum briefly before we have to wrap this video up. Does a consumer have to have debt to utilize the IBC concept and/or to gain advantage through it?
Absolutely not. That's one of the beauties of it, is we can learn how to start making money off of our own money, whether we have debt or not. We get real estate investors, we get business entrepreneurs, we get people with high cash flows that just want to leverage their money and learn how to make interest off of it. And some of our biggest cases have come from people that don't have any debt at all, but they simply see a better way to pay themselves instead of paying banks and lending institutions.
So last, and perhaps the most logical question is, well, gee, Paul, Randy, if these carriers are so fantastic and the infinite banking concept is so special, why doesn't everybody know about it?
Because they have not been taught about this. They've been suppressed by banks, by our government, by their financial advisors, and withheld information that is not to their benefit, but rather they want those consumers' money in their pocket instead of putting it in their own pocket.
I couldn't agree with you more, right? They all have their own vested interest, right? The folks working in the stock market will advise things that are in that space. If you've got a fee-based financial planner, they're more interested in their fees. The insurance product is a tool that is often misunderstood because of a lack of knowledge by folks who don't work within the industry. But if you work in the industry and you want to learn more about quality whole life, how to structure those contracts, and how to implement them within an IBC structure, you need to reach out to us here at Gord Marketing. Reach out to Paul Bechtold. He can help you enter that market and learn what you need to know to become an experienced, an effective salesman in that space and really drive higher levels of sales success. But for now, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Please do me a solid as we exit this video and click the subscribe button at the bottom as well as the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time we come out with some great new content. But for now, on behalf of Paul and myself, we'd like to wish you happy selling.